Hi, everybody. Welcome to the program today. Nice to see everybody. It's been a week. It's been a month. It's been a year. I mean, depending on when the last time you joined us, doesn't matter. Just happy you're here. We've got a lot going on today here on the program. Mary Anne Ivison from Let's Take This Outside the podcast. She's going to be joining us a little later on, along with Scott Trades from the Hot Wallet podcast. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, not limited to or exclusive of internet dating. We're going to be chatting about that a little bit. Has the pandemic fried people's brains online? We're also going to talk a little bit about open relationships, which I think is very interesting because I really can't imagine having more than one at one point in time. As a matter of fact, I have none right now, Ryan, and that's enough for me. Not being in one relationship is lots of relationship for me, if you ask me. Anyway, we're going to get to that a little later on. We're going to talk about Elon Musk because he pulled out, which is weird because he normally doesn't pull out. He normally stays in, which is why he's got a lot of kids. But he pulled out, which is fascinating. He pulled out of his Twitter deal, and we haven't had a chance to talk to Scotty Trades about that. And he was like, remember Scott was like, it's happening. It's going to happen. He's going to rule Twitter. He's going to fix everything. And he's like, yesterday, he's like, I'm out. I can't afford it.
all the Elon Musketeers are all over Twitter now. Like, they're backpedaling so hard you can smell the smoke from their shoes as they say that. We knew he was going to do this. It was all just a stunt. He's got $1 billion. He can just pay for it. So watching this part is my favorite part.
I know, me too. Yeah. I've quite enjoyed it. It's Schadenfreude, I believe. I think this is the fucking very definition of Schadenfreude. It's like my favorite word. It's my favorite feeling. It's like a thing. If I could, I'd build a religion around bad things happening to bad people. So anyway, we'll get to that coming up in a couple of minutes as well. But more importantly, please welcome back to the program my very dear friend, our very dear friend from Irpin, Ukraine, 5'10", 175 pounds. Please welcome Alex Dayrabekov, ladies and gentlemen.
There he is.
There he is. Can I get your height and weight right? Like, I don't even know how I've never met you personally because we have this tremendous relationship online. It kind of feels like internet dating without the weird sexual texts. Right?
I think he just asked you for nudes, Alex.
I'm opposed to sending you a weird text, but I would never send him a picture of me naked. But like, is this like, how would you qualify our friendship? Is it a long-distance relationship? Is that what we're having here?
No,
it's an affair.
Close friendship, but a close distance friendship.
Sorry.
Anyway, great to see you.
I like to refer to it as an international affair.
What's that, Alex? You're going to say something?
That was good.
Yeah, a mail order friend. I got a mail order friend. His name's Alex.
A foreign affair.
Yes. Makes it sound dark and spooky.
Yeah, mysterious, if you will.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I feel such closeness to you guys is mental and psychological. You're supporting me and my country as a whole in these difficult times. So I'm really thankful to you.
Thankful for you too. First of all, happy birthday! You celebrated a birthday, Alex. 47 years old. Is that correct?
Yes.
47 years old. And he had a little thing, and we're going to get to that video in just a second. Because Alex is all about gifts, not for himself, but for other people. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But the gift that you gave us on your 47th birthday was this unbelievable video of your son, Artie. You called him Artie. I was just amazed in the video. I'm like, he's already given his kid a nickname. He's not even a year old yet. He's like, hey, Artie, what's happening? But I want to play this for people because there's basically nothing better than seeing a baby smile or laugh. And listening to you and watching you talk to him is one of the greats. You got to watch this. This is you with your little boy the other day. It's maybe the coolest video I've seen in months.
Look at me, Artie. You're a charming little chap.
He's gonna be he's a lady killer already.
It's got to melt you, right? I mean, just looking at that smile, that has to melt you. Look at this little chap. Like, what is it? Has he been smiley his whole life? Because look at those eyes. Look at him.
Oh yeah. It's good.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh,
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, he gives us a lot of energy as well.
Yeah, I bet he
With
does.
smiles. Yeah.
Who does most of the diaper changing?
Of what?
Diaper changing.
Oh, of course, my wife does. My job is about the base, the basing,
Yeah.
the bath time,
Yeah.
and what else? Well, uh, and that's it.
Yeah.
Of course, I go and play with him every once in a while.
Yeah. But I mean, when he does a doo-doo in his pants, you do one of these, right? Here you go.
No,
Here you go.
I know my stuff. I know how to do it.
This
This is
smells
my
like
third
he
son.
needs you.
Yeah, it's your third son. So have you ever changed a diaper? You've changed a diaper, obviously.
Well, back in '90s when my first son was born, we actually saved money on diapers, and because we didn't have any.
No, you just let him freewheel it.
No, we would somehow invent to restore it, so that we keep the same diaper for a couple of days. I just can't, because we lived in the poverty. In '90s, we were so poor in Ukraine, and that's what basically Butler wants us to go back to those times, to poverty, and we don't want that.
No, I guess not. And you celebrated your 47th the other day, and I'm going to play this video for everybody who hasn't seen it. It was incredible because if you follow Alex, follow him at Dayrabekov on social media. His last name with just an @ and that'll be on Twitter. It's a great way to keep in touch with him and see what he's up to. But we've been talking to him for the past several months back in Irpin, and you recorded a birthday message, which was fascinating because normally on like if it was my birthday, I'd be like, send me gifts to this address. Send me envelopes full of money, not Alex. Here's a video that he put together, and we're going to help with this, so watch.
I rarely ask for any gifts since childhood, but now I do. I ask for money. Just send me at least 47 hryvnia, which is exactly how many years I am turning today. We will use this money to buy food for those who are in need in the front lines close to the war zone. That would be the best gift to my birthday. Happy birthday to me. And I wish myself and everyone peace, the end of the war, with the victory of Ukraine.
What a nice message, eh?
No kidding.
Everybody out there is going, hey, what about me? You're like, hey, I don't care about me. It's my birthday. Just send me $47 and I'll be able to help some people, right? Best way you can do that. And can you quickly tell us how and when, if you wanted people to send money directly to you, where and how they can do it? Is it part of your Facebook group? And what details do you need us to give?
Well, actually on my Twitter, there is the latest, under this video, there is a comment with a link. So you can go to this link and there is information, or you can just DM me. That would be faster and better.
Okay.
Because I just figured, you guys helped a lot, and we stayed with the money that you guys sent 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. We had just left with 1,000. We are trying to save this money and split it. But now my volunteers said that they are going to go to the front line. So they are like 1 mile, 2 miles away from the front line. No deliveries are going there. So they basically have no food. And the guys, the volunteers from my group, are actually ready to go there and deliver food to those people who have nothing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, we just got to get some money to do that. That would be the best gift, really,
Okay. Okay. So the whole idea is you go to Alex's Facebook, which is on his Twitter account. You can have a look at it, and there's all kinds of ways to donate. The other way that you can do it is you can send money if you go to the shop at deanblundell.com. Now, the thing about this is that we've actually posted it in the description. So the description of the podcast, you can go and look at it, and you can download it. And if you buy any Sheeple Shepherd podcast material, if you buy anything from this shop, great. We're going to donate that money to Alex. But the way that you can donate directly so that we can send him this money is by making sure that you donate to Alex via our shop. All of the money that we collect for Alex, donate to Alex in Ukraine. All the money that we collect, as you pointed out, goes directly to Alex, who then drives to a store, or then he goes and buys things for Ukrainians holed up inside different shelters or maybe on the front lines, which I find interesting is that you're back on the front lines, Alex. I know you were doing stuff in Kyiv, but if you want to send Alex $47, if you want to send Alex $1,000, if you want to send Alex $47,000, you can do so through that secure link, which is at our shop, deanblundell.com. And we would greatly appreciate it if you did, because as you can tell, Alex needs the dough and he needs it pretty quick. And they need to give people on the front lines their food. When you say front lines, you're talking about in the East. And what's the need like right now, Alex? What can you speak to about that?
You will be surprised, just like I was. I heard the story that the military guys close to the front line in the East specifically, where the hottest battles are going on, they were approached by quite a young girl who came up to them and said, "Guys, do you have a can of meat? Just a can of meat, and you can have sex with me."
Oh man!
So that is just like, this is the situation they are going on now. Lots of elderly people who could not evacuate from those regions, disabled people, those who stay in bed, those who couldn't leave. So the rest of the money that I have, Kyiv is in a lot better situation. So we wanted to spend the money for that. That's what I decided.
And so when you say spending the money and you're talking about collecting money, the money goes to obviously food for people, but it's not just about food either, too, right? It's about anything you could do, like comfort. It's about a kettle. It's about getting someone a blanket. It's about getting baby diapers. It's about all these things, like the need in the East. And because the destruction that I've seen in that part of your country, and you pointed it out, there's a video here, I believe it's from Mariupol, which is on your feed as well. The destruction is hard to believe. I mean, it is impossible for me to believe that people are actually living in this stuff, Alex. And I think this is Mariupol. This is on your Twitter feed, correct?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Just one of the millions of videos. You can imagine the life there. This is the occupied area. People are given like 5 liters of water per week. They are just specifically made to come and plead for any kind of help from Russians.
That's the goal. This was the goal. I mean, I know it's hard for you to watch. It's hard for us to watch.
To make people poor, just like we were in the 90s when, again, we saved on a diaper to keep it for several days. That's when the people are poor, they are pleading for anything. But by the way, they are giving out passports, Russian passports, in the occupied territories. And there are naturally some people who do not want to do that. But in this poor, when they are so poor, they have no money, they are ready for anything, like that girl who is ready to have sex for just a can of meat. So what they do, the Russians are paying 10,000 rubles, which is about $200, I believe. So they pay $200 and you get a passport. So of course, even those who are neutral, they would go like, I'd better get a passport and get those $200. How else would I survive? They have no work, they have no food, no money.
Tough. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to talk about, and it's hard to, because the part of the world where you're in is a different world, even though it's the same country. I mean, you get people that are able to go and get a bite to eat. You got people you can go get gas. You can go to a restaurant. You can go get clothes. You can kind of run around. You can work. There's none of that in the contested part of eastern Ukraine, right? There's none of it. I mean, the gains that have been made, sometimes losses. It is that whole area of the world is under attack, and that's not just under attack; it's been decimated. Like some of the pictures that we've seen coming out of Donetsk and some of the people, Lysychansk, I believe. I saw some videos coming out of Lysychansk, and I apologize if I'm messing up the name of that. But it is the need there is like is a dichotomy, because it's like two different worlds, right? In the East, it's war torn. It's like something that you see in the movies, or something that you've seen from footage of the Second World War, the First World War, where it's just rubble in so many different communities. And there are still people, which I cannot believe. I'm looking at that video of Mariupol. There are still people that are living in that.
It's crazy.
Right? Yeah, and that's why we have to kick those bastards' asses as fast as we can and clean our land from them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you seem to be, and if you don't mind me saying, you seem to be different today than you have been in past podcasts. You seem to be sort of fed up. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, you're right. We feel exhaustion. Yeah, my wife is tired. She told me today that she's tired of all of this, and I'm saying to her, stay away from the news for some time at least. It's been hard. By the way, today, an hour ago, we leave 10 miles away from Kyiv. Irpin is 10 miles away from Kyiv. An hour ago, there were like 14 strikes at Kyiv. I didn't hear anything, luckily. I don't even know what's going on. We'll check the news. But that's just like, the hell.
They're still bombing Kyiv, too? Is that what you said?
Sorry?
They're still bombing Kyiv?
Yeah. There was missiles in Kyiv. 14 missiles flew to Kyiv. And every day there's 2 weeks ago there was this Kremenchuk attack we discussed. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I took the initiative and I created a Facebook group, and I collected all public information about those who deceased there, and my information from open sources was completely matched. I mean, it was the same as the official information. So by my investigation, I showed that actually the Ukrainian official information is completely irrelevant. Mm-hmm. But, it happened 2 weeks ago, 21 people dead. Just simple, most of them were workers in this shopping mall. They were workers of the employees of the consumer electronics shop. Some of them were visitors. One lady just stopped by to get a bottle of water. She was... And that missile, you can imagine, the missile was 11 meters long. Yeah. And it just hit the consumer electronics shop. That is such a tragedy. But 2 weeks passed. Even in Ukraine, we don't discuss it anymore. Because there's more tragedies every day. Something happens. 3 days ago, there was a huge attack at another little town by the front line. 35 people dead, 6 wounded. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just hard to digest all of it, and it's becoming a habit. Okay, another 30 people dead, another city bombed.
It's almost like you become numb to it.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing you don't want to do when you're an empathetic person like you. You feel that, and you feel guilty for not having the same emotions every time. But you can't do that. Your mind, you'll go crazy if you do, right? So that's hard.
Well, yeah, you're in it. I mean, and that's really the thing is that when you live in it. I mean, it's I can only speak to us here. Is that we want to keep talking to you because we know that this is still going on. But it's funny how these things die down, or the interest in this war kind of wanes from time to time, but nothing has changed. In fact, for so many people, it's gotten so much worse, and you bring up a good point. Like, 3 days ago, you were talking about this tragedy, this incredible tragedy that happened, and it seems like it was a month ago or a year ago, because so many of these things continue to happen, right? And it's hard to stay on top of it. But I think it is it like, are you seeing support for bringing attention to what's still going on in Ukraine, Wayne? Like, are you still in contact with CNN? I mean, are there people that still want to get some information out that contact you? Because one thing that I don't want to happen is I don't want us to look at this like we look at other wars in the past, where our interest level falls. And I'm only saying that because I can only, and this is obviously an incredibly negative subject, but it's not, but it's a positive subject when we're talking about the solutions that people like you are still trying to come up with, and how tired you are. Like, I can see it in your face. I can see that you're tired of this, right? And that you can't get tired of it. Like, you're in it, and you're trying to get the rest of the world to stay in it as well. Do you still feel like the rest of the world is paying attention, or do you feel like it's kind of waning at this point in time? And how do you kind of, match that up against what's still happening, and what is still a war? Like, Putin and Russia are still coming for you. I mean, they're still trying to take over that part of your country, right? Like, I mean, the atrocities are still happening, Alex.
Well, you're right, and this is, I think, a natural process, that the world's interest is decreasing. There are lots of other events, like Japanese ex-prime minister was killed. That was a huge tragedy. Shooting at school in the United States. Mm-hmm. Floods in Australia or wherever. Lots of other events on the news. Also, the Russian propaganda is very strong outside of Russia as well. And it is paid billions of dollars of taxpayers are going for propaganda, for brainwashing the minds of people, mm-hmm. including Canada as well, and we discussed mm-hmm. that as well. That is a natural process, and I'm thankful to you guys that you are keeping track of it. I gave a couple of interviews to BBC a week ago, because there was an event in Switzerland, an event about Ukraine that needs money for rebuilding. $750 billion. That was our ask, and that was a great conference. And the main point was that we need to do it already now, mm-hmm. without waiting until the war ends. But again, the interest is less than before. Of course, that's a natural thing.
Yeah, I guess as time goes on, right? I mean, what's amazing to me is that, like, when the war first started, I was glued, right? I wanted to see what was going on, because if you know anything, and I don't, relatively speaking, I don't really know a whole lot about Ukraine, but you know it's a civilized first world society, and when you live in a civilized seemingly first world society, and another first world society gets attacked, you put yourself in that situation. You're like, oh my God, can you imagine what it would be like? And it was amazing how we were so empathetic at the start of this thing, but it's also amazing. And you point out the propaganda has like, I have friends that I don't really talk to about this anymore. To that fact, I'm like, the way that they talk about what they think is really going on over there, and how Putin might be justified, and like all the stuff. And I'm like, how did you fucking get to this point? Like, you live in Canada. You see the war. You see the war crimes being committed against these people. You see it. And they're like, yeah, but I read different stuff. And I'm like, well, fuck, why? Like, the propaganda, and when you say billions, I read it was like 5 to 6 billion. Like, they're spending a portion of their GDP. Russia is spending a portion of their GDP trying to convince the rest of the world that they're right. And to some extent, it's working, right? To some extent, it works. But here's the thing. The way I look at it over here, Alex, is it only works with the dumbest people, right? So it's almost like any person that believes that these war crimes are justified against a group of innocent people in an innocent country is probably, it was like a sluicing of sorts. It's like, well, dude, if it's not the pandemic, then it's this. I don't ever have to hang out with people like that ever again, right? Ever again. So for me, it's been a really good sorting hat, if you will, where I'm like, oh, listen, I'm not, dude. I talk to my friend Alex every week. Every week he comes forward with the videos that are just atrocious and real stories and war crimes. And they're like, well, I don't really think that's happening. But it's because they're literally immersed in the propaganda machine that gets pushed out. Like, did I see a picture of a billboard in Russia too, or that I don't even know if it was in Russia? It was like, hey, by the way, it was like a billboard that went, "We own Alaska now," or something like that. Like, it's fucking crazy what they're saying to their people in Russia, but it's even crazier what they're saying outside of Russia, Alex. Like, nuts.
Yeah, that's right. And but by the way, it's not just about the, as you say it, dummiest people. There are very, very smart people who also believe in this shit. Yeah, and the people I know, my group mate from the university, a very smart guy, had lived in London since then. For the past 20 years, he had lived in London, and he believes in this shit.
Yeah.
And there are so many of them. That's just because this propaganda is so professional. It's made in a very professional way. Let's be honest, but with a very evil thought in mind. That even the smartest people believe in it.
Yeah. They have psychologists on staff that know how to word things. They know the psychological warfare is really, really huge. Yeah. And the longer that you're in it, the longer this goes on, the longer they have to bake it in, right? And this is what it is. It's that bake in period where, well, we haven't heard much about what's going on in Ukraine. What's going, and then all of a sudden you're inundated with this garbage, and it's what it is. It's garbage, but it's still to the point where it's written so well that you don't even know that you're reading something that is designed to permeate your brain and get you in a subconscious way to start thinking other scenarios. This has been a thing since like World War I. Psychological warfare has been one of the number one things, and that's why they invest so much money in it, because it works and it's successful, and it's horseshit.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's amazing to me, like even listening to Alex, like these Ukrainian friends of his that live in London that are like, I don't think you guys are, I think they're doing the right thing. Like, it's fucking, what do you, can you not see the pictures and the videos? Do these people not look at the videos? And here's what I would say, Alex, God bless your friend. I don't think he's as smart as you thought he was.
Could be.
I think you're giving him way too much fucking credit for being smart. That's what I think. Because you have to be stupid to believe any of this is righteous. You have to. It is like the attack of another country is just fucking insane. The one thing that I do take solace in, though, is the amount of ammo that you guys are blowing up, by the way.
Yes.
It's been
You're doing a good job at that.
Awesome to watch.
Yeah. And that was thanks to HIMARS.
Yeah,
HIMARS has become a buzzword in Ukraine now. Everybody goes like, Saint HIMARS.
Well, HIMARS,
yeah, I saw there was cards. There was like, it looked like those prayer cards, and they're calling them
HIMARS, Saint Javelin,
Saint Javelin.
HIMARS,
that was
right?
it, Saint Javelin. Yeah.
But HIMARS is a missile system. It's a mobile missile system, and it's midterm, long range. And Ukraine's smart, right? Like, not only are Russians like deathly afraid to show up because they know it's the black hole of death for a lot of the citizens, they just fire volleys from it. That's what they're doing, right? Russia's not really getting involved. They're just demoing things and then going in with people at the end of it and saying, okay, listen, our soldiers are here. But this is one of the things. I think this happened on your birthday, if I'm not mistaken. You said this was a birthday present. I want you to check out, because again, Ukraine, smart. They're not necessarily going after columns anymore. They're just blowing up all their ammo, like all the Russian ammo that they bring in. And I want you to check this out. Where was this, Alex? We'll put this on video so people can hear it. We'll just make sure it's a little quiet so you can talk. But where was this? Where was this explosion?
It is occupied Nowa Kachovka, south of Ukraine. So a Ukrainian city that was occupied basically since the war started. And it's about, I can't remember exactly, about 40, 50 kilometers from the front line. So the HIMARS could reach that.
I guess so.
Properly.
Looks like they did.
By the way, it happened exactly at 10:20 p.m. Last night.
Yeah.
And the explosions continued until late morning. So it was going on for hours. That's how supposedly there's about 200 missiles in that. There were about 200 missiles in that ammo depot, and about 40 gas tanks. 40.
Holy fuck, are the Russians stupid?
Wow.
Why would they store all that in one place?
One spot. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly the case.
Wow.
And I was just reading Telegram channels of the Russian Telegram channels. They were like, what the hell is going on? And, they are just like so much nervous about all of this. And the Ukrainian ones, specifically the local ones from this specific city, they're so happy. Like, everyone is so happy. Even those who had their windows broken out
by
of
the
those
explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, I would be too. It's an incredible sight, and there's like a few of these videos out there too. It's not just this one. I think this is the 4th or 5th major ammo dump that the Ukraine has targeted with HIMARS, or I think it's HIMARS that they've targeted all these ammo dumps with. It's the only thing that creates this kind of explosion, right? I mean, this is Hiroshima-like. And these explosions, you pointed out, lasted for like 7 to 8 hours. So awesome.
Yeah, and the thing is that HIMARS started arriving to Ukraine in the mid of June. I'm so fascinated about how the communication is going on. There was no communication that, okay, we have the HIMARS in Ukraine. There was some that we will have. But they already arrived. The first attacks were right in the middle of June, on June 15th. And then the Ukrainian government actually informed publicly and openly that, yes, we have the HIMARS. So 2 weeks after the first attacks and first explosions, we publicly admitted that. So first, we brought them in. We built up the logistics with help of the NATO and specifically the US. Helped to build the logistics, because that is a very difficult and complicated confidential logistics to bring the missiles. They are very heavy. They are like tons of weight. They have to be brought by aircraft to Poland and then taken from Poland to Ukraine. And that is exactly why Russians wanted to destroy the infrastructure, including the Cherkasy Bridge, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago. They destroyed a part of the Russian bridge, of the Cherkasy Bridge, so that the logistics is broken and the missiles cannot be delivered to the east of the country. So now the logistics is built, HIMARS work properly. The routes have not been all destroyed, and we have the results.
Yeah, it's a good result. I like this result.
Ones.
Yeah, it's a nice result. Look at this result. Let's watch this result together. That's a lot of fun. Although I do miss my Stugna red light explosions too. Like I don't mind those, and a couple of javelin, like the early javelin explosions, they were fun. And the Stugna, because you could see it like literally the red light of death. It was like, I'm gonna find you, and then all of a sudden, kaboom! Right? Like I miss those, but these are so satisfying. By the way, folks, if you want to follow Alex, please do. At Dayrabekov is where you can find him on Twitter. You can donate. We've put all of his information on how you can donate directly to him in the link and in the description of the podcast. Ryan's been kind enough to put that up there. Click on shop at deanblundell.com. Donate directly to Alex's relief efforts. You can also donate directly to him. And if you go to his Twitter feed at Dayrabekov, you can check that out as well. Follow Alex on Facebook, www.facebook.com/alex.dayrabekov. And you can find a way to donate to him so that he can actually get some money to some people people because he's still doing the work. Like he's still, running around trying to feed people, making sure that they've got some food. And it doesn't cost a lot, like $47. That'll feed a family for probably about 2 weeks. If I'm not mistaken, $100 feeds a family for almost a month. So if you could do us a favor and do Alex a favor, he celebrated his 47th birthday. By the way, you look like a porn star. It celebrated his birthday. You can donate to him because what he's trying to do is he's still trying to make people feel good and trying to cause some good things around him to happen for people because the situation is dire. There's so many people in the eastern part of that country who are not eating. My brother is actually going to be there on the 14th. I think he's en route today. So you and I have to talk after the show, and I'm going to give you some information so that you can get a hold of him as well. I think he's got some stuff. But, yeah, that'll be interesting. My brother's going to be in. I think he's coming in through Poland, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Or I think he might even be flying right into Kyiv. You can fly right into Kyiv now, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. No.
Oh, they canceled that?
No, the air is closed since the beginning of the war.
Oh,
No
really?
airplanes. No, yeah.
No, I
by
thought you
train.
could fly into Kyiv.
Everybody goes by train.
Oh,
Even
do they?
Johnson.
Oh, you're kidding. Trains.
Really, eh?
Trains.
And Trudeau as well.
Trudeau came by train. Well, Johnson, that was his last trip because he just lost his job. Trudeau will be there probably again, though, because he still hasn't lost his job. But listen, we want you to donate to, well, yeah, you never know. Canada's a mess, too. But we want you to donate to Alex. And, Alex, we wanted you to have you on. I know it's late there. But, again, please go to the shop. Go to Alex's Facebook account. Here's the shop at DeanBlundell.com. You can donate to Alex in Ukraine. 100% of the money and all the proceeds go to Alex. We don't take a dime. We make sure that we get him that money. And this is a very serious need because this is still going on. Do not take your eyes off this. Don't stop looking. Don't stop supporting. And get in touch with Alex and follow Alex wherever you get in touch with him. We'll let you go, Alex. I know it's late there, but thank you so much. And it was great to catch up with you again. And we'd love to have you back again next week. Maybe we can have a laugh next time. Maybe we'll try and make it a little more lighthearted. But thank you very much for giving us some time again today, brother.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone who listened to us. It is my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
It's ours as well. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Give Artie a pinch on the cheek for me.
Pinch Artie's cheeks for me. And whatever you do not change his diaper. Do not change it. Keep that streak alive, my friend.
That's right.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Talk to you soon. There's Alex
care, pal.
Dayrabekov. Follow him on Twitter at Dayrabekov. He is such a star.
Stud. He's a real stud. Just a stud of a man, like something that when I grow up, I want to be just like Alex. That's kind of how I feel about Alex. That guy is just a stand-up dude.
He's held it together pretty good. Today was the first time I've seen him where he's like kind of tired.
Well, it is late there too, so he might just be tired. But and he's an old man now. He's 47.
47. Looks like a stud for 47. Welcome back to the program from the Hot Wallet Podcast, Scott Trades. And, of course, from the Let's Take This Outside podcast, Mary Anne Ivison, ladies and gentlemen, joined us for the back half of this. Sorry,
hey, how are you?
In Ukraine. We're good. We were in the Ukraine for the first part of this. Now we're in Ottawa, Binbrook, and downtown Toronto. How is everybody today? Mary Anne, you look like you just got back from a picnic.
My puffy.
You have no mic, Mary Anne. Surprisingly, that microphone wasn't picking you up.
Does it pick me up now?
Yeah.
Does it pick? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have to talk this clerk or is it working?
There's like a delay.
Yeah, you've got a weird delay.
Log out and log back in again. Try and do it one more time. But I love the picnic wear. You look awesome.
I just thought maybe she was coming. She was calling in from the Amish community that she lives in now. Apparently, that's what. Maybe that's what it was.
Oh, stop it! She looks awesome.
I know. I'm just kidding.
She's wearing like a sundress. She's got a little sundress. Dude, it's so weird having women on the podcast, right? Scott, this is just a massive sausage fest literally every week. And so when we get a really smart woman who comes in and wants to talk about different really smart woman things or just wants to be part of the crew, we shouldn't be calling her a Hutterite for crying out loud.
Not a good opener. Not a good opener for sure.
If I just does it sound?
No, you got to get right on the mic again. You got to get on that enormous microphone, Mary Anne.
A huge phallic thing. Put the phallic thing near
Grab
your
it
mouth.
with both hands slowly and move it.
Yeah. Plug that in.
yeah.
I don't even know what that
plug it
is,
in.
but go ahead and plug that in. We'll see if that works. What's that?
Again, I feel like I'm just a total shit show.
You sound like a chipmunk now. This is unbelievable. You can't.
Is this your first time on a podcast?
They've got horrible internet at the commune.
I've never heard her podcast before. Is this what it sounds like?
Is this what?
Oh,
I feel like I'm just totally wasting everyone's time. Should I type?
No.
Should I
not at
should
all.
I sign
No.
language?
No, we can hear you. You're just it's not
It's
coming
coming
through your microphone. That's all, which is incredible because you remember the last time you were on that thing, and we went like for 20 minutes on A, the size and shape of your microphone, and B, the quality of the audio that would come out of that enormous microphone.
It's almost like I don't full-time deal thing, right?
You know what you need to do? You need to go on the little gear and select that microphone. I think you're using the wrong mic. I think it's your system's using the wrong microphone.
You know what? I'm going to play some segue music here. Scott, nice to see you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
really
you too.
appreciate it. We're
By
gonna
the
get a
way,
little segue
I
music
thought
here.
your interview with Alex was great. I just saw a headline that Ukrainian forces have destroyed 5 ammunition depots and a military base today.
Nice.
Oh, a little HIMARS action, huh?
Those
Yeah.
Saint HIMARS are.
Why didn't you
somebody's-
jump in the show and tell us Alex was here? You
I was
fucked up the whole
waving
thing.
my arms. No one was looking at me. That's okay.
Sorry.
Is this working yet? Are we testing? Is this
There we are.
Holy shit. Okay, for the record, by the way, I did
Yeah.
check every, like in my MacBook and this whole situation here.
Situation?
I called it situation on purpose.
I like it.
How do you like that word? How do we like it?
I like it.
Fucking love it. I've never heard anybody call it a situation. But
I
when
just
something's
made it up.
bad- Yeah.
I just made it up.
Fucking awesome. The
Write it down.
Did you seriously just make up
I literally
situation?
just made up situation.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is fucking. You're a genius. You're a
Isn't that
swearing genius.
Unbelievable. I feel so stressed. I'm sweating. Anyway, can I explain this? Sure.
Yeah.
Bought it last year in the pandemic. Thought it'd be really nice for, going out to patios with people, and thought it'd be really nice to But I didn't do anything last year, so
Nothing.
it still had the tag on it today, and I was like, I should probably wear it. And so I decided that it was like a really nice, like girly vibe, a little bit
Yes.
Seinfeld puffy shirt vibe.
Yeah, a little
Very.
piratey. Well,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
hold it though. Like if you can't see Mary Anne Ivison at MA on the air on Twitter, by the way, is where you can find her. Is within 3 seconds of you struggling with your audio, which is always a stress. Like if you've been on a podcast and your audio doesn't work and everybody else's works, and you're trying to figure it out. The sweat that starts
Your
to pour
ass
down
starts to
your back from
sweat.
the fucking anxiety is intense. So just relax. We don't give two shits. Number one. Number two. Ryan was kind enough to refer to you as a Hutterite, actually, or an Amish person when you got in here.
I
just said
didn't
you
say
looked like you
Hutterite.
came from a fancy picnic. No, you said Amish, actually.
I said
And
Amish.
so we chastised him for that. Don't worry, we got it. I think you
Thank
look
you.
great.
Mennonite? I don't know. Is that nicer? Is there like a level?
No, Mennonites don't wear those.
Do I have to change? This is not
Dude,
going well.
You know what the difference? No, you look great. You know what
Yeah,
the
you look
difference is
fine.
between Mennonites? The puffy shirts that they have don't go all the way down in the front to the navel.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some cleavage with that shirt, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
yeah, this is very
Yeah, we're up there.
un-Mennonite-y. Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, Mennonites.
I'm
don't
just gonna
want
let you guys keep going and digging your hole. That's finally fine.
I like
Sorry
Scott's
about
birth control shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll get it off of Mary Anne and look at Scotty.
Sorry,
We're gonna
Marianne,
do
you're
that.
going
Yeah,
to
if you really want to not impress a woman, tell her you're into Bitcoin and NFTs.
Okay, the best thing about Scott and I's friendship is that sometimes he'll send me NFTs that
Yeah.
he's purchased, and I'm like, I don't get it. Every time I'm like, I still don't get it.
Scott's into the digital jokes. He's like,
And they're
"Hey,
like-
get a load of this digital joke.
Hey, look at this cartoon. It's a big piece of shit, actually. It's a shit with eyes. I'm going to pay $300 for it. What do you think? That's usually how our conversations go.
How do you guys know each other? Because for everybody that isn't aware, everybody here has a podcast on the network. Ryan Lindley, of course, the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. Scotty Trades has the Hot Wallet podcast. Mary Anne Ivison, MA on the air on Twitter. So I'm just reading the thing.
What a situation.
Mary Anne, total situation. Mary Anne has this incredible podcast called Let's Take This Outside. It's like one of the most highly ranked wildlife outdoor podcasts in the country. So you guys are all on the network. I didn't know that you, Scotty, when we were starting to work with you, knew Mary Anne, and I didn't know Mary Anne knew you. So how did you guys, and you guys have known each other for a long time, famously. You get along famously. Like the shit talk in the DMs over the past couple of days has been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, so I met Mary Anne when I was a program director of a radio station. We met at like an award show at a college. I was there to present an award, and Mary Anne was at our table. And so that was the first time that I had met Mary Anne. And then I thought, oh, this lady is lovely. She's in radio. You know, let's become friends with her. Follow her on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. You know, because you like to make contacts in radio.
Yeah.
And then as we kind of dug into knowing each other, turns out we worked like in the same building at one point. Eh, Mary Anne?
In Chatham, Ontario, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we know a ton of the same people. It's funny because like we didn't talk for years, and then I would say through finding out that you were joining Dean's network, we connected again, and then you had to actually like remind. I'm like, I know we've met before, and you reminded me that it was at the college. I kind of remember meeting you. I'm sorry, just like remember
That's
it
okay.
wasn't. Yeah, but
That's
now
fine.
we're friends, so it's fine.
You know what she just said? She said you were very unimpressive when she met
Wow.
you. That's what she just said.
I'm married. I get that like every day. I get reminded of how unimpressive I am.
They're good vibes to give off when you're married.
I totally
Keeps
get
you
that.
humble and safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have a bunch of mutual friends and stuff like that, and then we just kind of reconnected because of the Dean Blundell Network.
Thank you.
Look at the
Appreciate
work we're
it.
doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
bringing people together, one highly rated podcast at a time. It's what we do. So you guys met each other at an award show, and Mary Ann's easy to like, right? Like when you meet her, it's like all energy, so fun, easygoing, fun to be around, a lot of fun, and it's impossible to forget her because of her energy, right? So did you guys get along, or are you guys like radio enemies? You know how back in the day when you got together with people and you're like, I don't like that guy, she took my job, he took it. Are you radio enemies or are you radio friends?
I think we bonded over having maybe mutual frenemy, like radio enemies. Frenemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, we
You
yeah,
both
we can't
didn't like the same person?
we can't really dive into it, but
We can
So
dive
we're
into it. You know what? Let's dive into it.
Yeah, who don't you like?
Let's do it. Let's do
Yes.
it. I've had a bad day. Let's do it.
No,
I'm ready.
actually, for the record, I actually really like this person, but
Scott
Yeah,
doesn't. Yeah.
Here
Yeah,
we
I
go.
think
I
that's
mean-
Yeah, go ahead, Scott. I'll give you some
Okay.
I hate this person music. Go ahead.
No, I don't hate anyone, but I definitely had some bad experiences with some people. And so I remember a while ago, Dean, we're talking about radio programmers that had influenced my life. And so
Yes.
up and coming, I had a radio programmer, and his name was Jay Poole. And he
Nice guy. He's
he
a good guy.
basically hated me. And all my air checks were really bad. And one time I was in the production studio, and he asked me to make him a demo tape. And so I said, hey, yeah, sure, I'll make you a demo tape. You know, because I'm always trying to be a nice guy, even to people who I know. I think that guy hates me. And so I ended up making him a demo tape, even though he was the program director of the radio station at the time, or something like that. And then out of that, I actually created like a soundboard of his voice. And so, like you press the buttons and then his voice says things. And so I did that as like a fun joke within within the radio station. And it was fun within the radio station. And then, I kind of moved on and went on with my life. But people within the radio station kind of kept using that soundboard, which was on one of the servers and stuff like that. And then when I was in Victoria, out of nowhere, I got a call from this guy or an email or something like that being like, hey, you're ruining my life with this soundboard, And I was like, I haven't thought of you in 10 years, but okay. And I don't have that soundboard anymore. So
guess
sorry
what? It
that-
still exists.
Still to this day?
Yeah, it still exists.
So, and so I guess what was happening is people were prank calling radio stations with this guy's voice all over Canada with this soundboard that I had made as like a fun joke. And so now I kind of don't blame that he hates me because it's kind of all my fault.
Yeah. Yeah, we're radio people. I don't know if you guys know this. Radio people have very thin skin. I'm not aware. Like the people that don't have thin skin, traditionally they get right out of it and do other things like voice work, or investing, or they build their own network, or they do logistics in the transportation industry. But if you do have thick skin, thin skin, traditionally that's where you hide because you get to hide behind a microphone. I mean, I don't know if you're aware of that. You get to hide behind a microphone. Nobody else in the room. That was the benefit of radio back in the day. There you go. And Mary Anne has the biggest microphone.
I'm just showing off. Big show off over here.
Did you guys see Alex's interview? Did you enjoy Alex's interview?
I caught the
Hard to
tail end
watch.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to watch. I was doing some reading because one of the things that we were talking about, and we didn't get a chance to get to it, was like between 3 and 4%. Did you read this, Liz? Between 3 and 4% of all Russian soldiers' death / capture has come via 2 apps that Russian soldiers use and have been using. One, Tinder. I shit you not. The other one, Grindr.
Grinder. No shit.
Grindr.
So they're actually logging into their Tinders and Grinders while they're over there fighting a war to try and get some. And they're getting...
Dude, it has been incredible to watch. Steve Jong talks about it. It says Ukrainians, is a tweet from him at Ernest Scribbler. Ukrainians have been very impressive using facial recognition to identify dead Russian soldiers by their social media profiles and contacting their families. Using dating apps, quote, Grindr and hello. I didn't think there were any gay men in Russia. That's what
according to
said. He's
Putin,
like,
there is not. They don't have
no
one.
gay people here. We don't have any gay people here. But Grindr is such a prolific app, apparently, in Russia, that they've 3 to 4% of the Russian soldiers' deaths and captures, Grindr.
That's
and
wild.
Tinder.
I wonder if they have commitment issues over there too.
Probably. I would
for sure
imagine.
they do. Yeah. Well, they're just in town. But they literally they went there. They're like, hey, I guess if I'm here, might want to get some ass, and so they would log on to their thing, and the Ukrainian government's
crazy.
like, that's you. We're going to come and find you. And they would go and find these guys. And they would just drop bombs on them from the sky, like these drone bombs on them in the sky. Yeah.
It reminds me of that Jewish woman from World War II we read a lot of stories about still to this day. She used to lure them in the woods and say, hey, I think you're cute and whatever. And then she'd go and then just blow them away. She'd have like a posse of people waiting with guns to just murk a bunch of German soldiers. And sure enough, she took out a lot of Nazis with flashing some leg and a cute smile. So,
well, it's great.
I guess this is the modern day version of that.
Right. I mean, you use what you can, right? But at the same time, I'm like, because I had a conversation with a buddy of mine, and I'm like, are you on social media? Like, are you on any dating apps? And he's like, dude, because we were talking about this story. He's like, dude, have you been on a dating app? I'm like, no. And he's like, I think the pandemic melted brains because, like, there should be
It's not good.
Yeah, there should be fucking whole new categories of like social of dating apps, because what's happened is that instead of like non-smoker, herpes, no herpes, disease free, like instead of those little like asterisks they put, it's like there's a new one. It's like pure blood, anti-vax, vaxxer, masks only, like and to the point where apparently for the first time in online dating history, people are fleeing these apps. They're like, there's no one here. Like, nobody.
I actually just deleted. I dipped my toe back in a few weeks ago. I just deleted all of them this weekend after an experience. Actually, I've had 2 experiences recently that I'm like, either I'm not ready for this or it's just an absolute situation, an absolute gong show. No, seriously. I actually would love your opinion. I'll like all of your opinions on this.
Well, they won't be great opinions, but we'll give you
Can I just remind everybody that Mary Anne was the one at the beginning of the convoy that showed us that somebody had swiped on her, and he ended up being a member of that Diagolon.
He was one of the high members of Diagolon, right? He was one of the big, he had like the mask. Yeah. So it hasn't got much better, to be completely honest. So okay, I have to tell you about this date I went on Friday. So first of all, this probably sounds lame, but I like to vet guys via video chat. First of all, have you heard about this? Like through the pandemic, it just kind of became normal to like you do like a quick little video chat, make sure that they're real, make sure that that you have some kind of like conversation. Like, so we did that. Like, we did this video chat thing a couple weeks ago. Went well enough. This guy, is a professor. He's incredibly smart. He ticked boxes and
wrote a book.
Let's just.
12
There was
steps.
probably a couple.
Jordan Peterson.
Peterson.
And athletic and all of those things. So I decided, I'm like, let's give it a shot. Let's go on a real date. So it happened to be on Friday, and we meet at this like wonderful patio near my place. And
you want some internet dating music for this? I can get you.
What, do you have any?
Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah.
That's a little porny.
That's definitely internet dating music.
That's good. It's
Yeah.
getting
I don't
me
know
in
how
the
this
mood.
date ends. I don't know how this date ends.
For what?
The story.
Yeah. Mood music.
So we meet up at this place called Tavern at the Gallery.
Yeah.
And the date went fine, actually. It went okay.
He's wearing jorts.
Wearing shorts, dresses nice. But remember, this is the day of the Rogers outage.
Yeah.
So I kind of joked to him and I said, I hope you bring cash, thinking, a chance that the patio's not going to have, that's only going to take cash. We get there and I realize I don't have cash, but they are only taking cash. And I'm instantly in my head thinking,
Convenient.
oh my God, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And
Do
for
you do
the
that on
record,
purpose? You do that on purpose?
Convenient.
Is that a move? Is
I-
that like an online dating move by Mary Anne Ivison? Is it
I
like a-
actually have a rule. If I don't like a guy on a first date, I will not let him pay. I do not like owing men money. I do not like owing anyone money. So
hot move.
I-
That's a big move. That's a big move.
Yeah.
Like, you're atypical to most people. It's like,
Yeah.
how can I get that person to pay for this? Because I do not want to see them again.
I do not like, especially
That's
I don't
what I
like
would
owing
do.
men. I've had some bad experiences on dating apps where men think that I owe them something. So no chance. I will never make that mistake again, especially if I don't like them. So we have like an okay date, but I knew pretty soon. I'm like, there was no connection. It was just nice. It was very surface level conversation. And we get to the point and I say, look, I don't have cash. And I kind of said, I'm like, can I transfer you money?
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry about it. He's like, it's okay. Just don't worry about it. So I took an exhale. I'm like, this is totally fine. Say our goodbyes, hug that felt like a friend hug, nothing, go home.
You hug on the first date, huh?
I'm a
So
big
like the
hugger.
one-arm
Yeah,
bro
yeah.
hug?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, it felt very broy.
Yeah.
Get home, I get this nice long message about how much he enjoyed it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Next day, get a text. Includes his email
Oh,
and
boy.
how much money I owe him.
Shut up. Are you serious? Oh, is it because you
Hold
didn't
on.
reply to his friendly?
No.
It's because you didn't
my
touch it on the first
God.
date.
That's it.
Is it
No.
because he is a cheap prick?
I
That
don't
is
know.
so what? Hold it. He
What
sent
a-
you a note, and he's like,
Hold on, it
"Hey,
said-
by the way, here's my bank account information.
Hey, by the way,
Just hustle
Marianne,
that for you." Go
here's
ahead.
my email address. And with tax and tip, this is how much detail there was.
Oh, wow.
With tax and tip, it came to just over $40. But
Okay.
$40 is fine.
Oh, well, at least he's generous. He's got that.
Is that so? This was an $80 dinner,
An $80
or are
dinner.
you paying for both?
So, no. It was an $80 dinner, and my share was
your
40.
portion was
So
40 bucks.
I
Okay.
sent him $45.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I
you
sent
did.
him $45.
shaking his head. Scott
I can't believe
his
this.
head like who?
Okay.
is
Like
this
seriously,
guy?
dude, eat,
No,
But
that's
my-
eat the $40.
That's a big dick
Like,
move that
eat
she
the
pulled there.
money.
That was
Well,
good.
40 plus tax, Scott.
But my friend mentioned to me, she's like, you don't,
You know how much
you don't like.
bullshit I spend $40 on? Like, it's not even fun. Like,
not even-
imagine.
Dude, you started this whole conversation by saying you spent $300 on an NFT that was a shit with eyes. Like
I know.
You're not gonna
That's
have
what I'm
thumbs.
saying. And this guy's like penny pinching
Yeah.
this girl over
think-
40 bucks.
And
I
to,
think
to
that
add,
was more of a move. I think it
Sounds
was
like he
more
was
of
poor
a.
anyways.
Go ahead. We're interrupting Mary Ann, gentlemen. Oh, here she
and then
is.
to add to it, right? I already knew it wasn't going to work. And then
Yeah.
he asked for money. I'm like, okay. But then I think back and think, okay, I said I'll e-transfer you money. So I guess he took it seriously. And I did make a point of saying I don't want to owe anyone money. So I do take some responsibility for it. But I was also I also laughed very loud when I read it. Next day, again, nice. He's very polite. This guy is very nice.
He's not
Next day, I get another message the next day. And it's like, look, I know we didn't have the connection that we wanted, but you're a great girl and good luck in your search. I'm like, you don't need to message me. Like, I know that this didn't like right?
That's so funny. It's like, I know it didn't go well because you sent me a bill after the date, you dumb fuck.
Unreal.
Like, that's how I know it didn't go well. And by the way, I didn't think it went well either. Did you fight back at all? Like,
No,
did you go,
I-
hey,
I
listen,
have no
I knew
energy
this
for
didn't
that.
go well the second I saw you show up in jorts.
There was no Jordans. He looked great, actually. He looked wonderful. There was nothing wrong with the guy other than that, and
No chemistry.
Just there's no chemistry whatsoever. Yeah.
No chem. You need chem. You need chem.
Did you have the chem over the video chat though? Like I feel like you kind of know over video chat.
Yeah.
There's definitely a flow of conversations, but you guys have to know that you have to no expectations going into first dates or video chats or anything, because people are always putting their best foot forward. I have no expectations. My friend says she calls it a meet and greet, and that's how I look at it. It's like, do we vibe at all? Do we get along? Even if there is a connection, it doesn't mean anything for long-term compatibility. It means nothing. So anyway, we got along enough, to go on a real human date for me to put makeup on, and right?
Yeah. Well, and Scott brings up a great point. Sorry, Scott, you're going to say something? You had a question?
No, I was just going to say why, because of this one date that didn't work out, why was that the catalyst to delete all of your apps? Like, why give up now because of this one guy?
Can I interject here? Just my 2 cents. I know he's asking you the question, but it leads me to a question that kind of sits on a different level, which is, and I think has the pandemic burned the brains of people on dating apps? Because that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing like people are weirder than ever. People are signing off dating apps. People are like, fuck, you know what? The pandemic really melted the brains of people that were on these apps who were questionable by and large to begin with, right? Like, listen, I'm not on a dating app, and I wouldn't go on a dating app because there's really no point in going on a dating app as far as I'm concerned, because it's all performative. Like, you can be fucking anybody on a date with anybody for an extended period of time, right? Like, if someone says, hey, listen, I'm going to go on a date. I had a quick video chat. I vetted the person, which I find hilarious that you have video chats where you're like, let me get a look at you first, and then, okay, yeah, I'll meet you down at the tavern. Let's have a little. It's
like online shopping.
Let's turn around a little bit. Let's see a view from the side. Okay, let's
I think
see your
it's
hair.
genius.
Yeah, I would, dude. If I was like a chick on an app, pardon my language, if I was a female on an app, I would say, hey, gentlemen, can you do me a favor? Just take a shot of the top of your head to make sure you're not balding, all that other stuff, right?
I had this. This guy. Oh, I think I've told you the story before. This guy that was on Tinder during our date.
Oh yeah, you
Have
did tell us that. Yeah.
Anyway,
terrible luck.
No, you didn't tell the show though. Tell the story.
I didn't.
No.
I feel like we do like 6 hours just on my dating stories.
Probably.
Clear the sketch.
Yeah.
This guy, I think it was about a third date, and I don't even know why I went out with him again, because I didn't even like him that much. But I think I was maybe a little sad and lonely and depressed at that time.
Sorry, I just threw it. I
was talking about the microphone.
It was last winter. Buried that away.
It was a long.
Right, I'm not touching that one.
24 months. It was a tough 24 months.
It was a tough couple of years.
Buried that
so
one.
we're on a third date again. We didn't discuss like exclusivity or anything like that, but we're on this date. We're sitting at a restaurant. I go to the bathroom, come back, and he's on his phone and like puts the phone aside, which is totally fine. We get in his car, and there's a picture of his kids in the back of his phone. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that picture of your kids before. Yeah. And because he's shown me a ton of pictures of his kids, so it wasn't weird for me to ask. So he opens his phone, Tinder, open. So when I was in the bathroom, he was looking and swiping and Tinder, and it like made my...
For more chicks? He just wanted more chicks?
I don't know.
Or he just was like, this isn't going well? That's got to make someone feel pretty good about themselves, to walk back from the bathroom in the middle of a Tinder date with a guy who's back on Tinder in the middle of your Tinder date?
Yeah, I remember feeling gross about that. I remember feeling like my heart just, I didn't even really like him that much anyway, but like I remember feeling like sick to my stomach. I'm like, go ahead and swipe afterwards. But when I'm in the bathroom, that's what you're doing, is messaging someone else. So Scott, back to your question of stories like that. The reason I brought this up was this guy. He, in his pictures, it was like a comb over.
The bus driver.
It's how it's called. The comb over is called the bus driver.
The comb over.
Fucking best. Yeah.
And I just feel at this point
the TTC sneak.
I got the old TTC special. Sorry, go ahead. You got the one.
I wanted to tell him. I wanted to tell him to do something about it, but I didn't like when I left, when I departed, and I said I'm not interested. I also wanted to say something, but I didn't because it wasn't.
Like, what would you have said? What would you say?
I don't know. No, it's gonna be super.
You
super
wanted
rude,
to tell
no
him
matter-
his hair looked ridiculous. His comb over was like a bait and switch. Is that what you wanted to tell him? Like you really in your mind you thought to yourself, I need to tell this guy the comb over is a terrible fucking look, and he needs to drop it, shave it, and get a realistic picture of himself on Tinder.
I wanted to. I didn't. Again, I don't want to waste my energy in.
You don't want to fix everybody, right?
So, Scott, back to your question. When you
Yes.
have so many, like over the last couple of years, especially through COVID, Dean is absolutely right about it being abysmal. I think people are a little messed up after the last couple of years. I think people struggle with communication. I think they struggle with connection, with opening themselves up. And for me personally, like I can only have so many bad experiences that before you like, not to get super deep about it, but like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not emotionally available for this shit. I'm not ready for this. So I decided I'm just going to focus on me instead. So
I'm gonna do me. Yeah. I'm gonna do me. You can date you all day long. That's what I say to people. I was like, "Why aren't you dating?" I'm like, "I can date me all day long. It's pretty much the best."
You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't date you.
Yeah,
Ashton and I actually just had this conversation at your house on Sunday. We were talking about this. I'm like,
yeah,
you wouldn't date you. She goes, you wouldn't fucking date yourself either. And I'm like,
I don't even hang
right.
out with me.
I wouldn't. I couldn't. I wouldn't.
Someone said, "Hey, Dean, hang out with a version of yourself." I'd be like, "Go fuck yourself."
Fuck that guy.
Not interested at all. I'm not interested. Scott, hearing all this has got to make you happy. You're happily married with a couple of kids, eh? Like,
yeah, I mean,
can you imagine waiting through it after the pandemic.
It changes how you look at the real world, right? Because it's different. I've been married over 10 years now, and so just the dating world as a whole, I feel like is a whole different world. So, I definitely. I feel bad for the terrible people that you're running into, Mary Anne, because knowing you, I know you deserve someone great. But I am interested to know what your pitch is to some of these people that you're meeting. Like, what's your go-to conversation? How do you lead into it?
I ask about their relationships with their mothers.
Oh yeah,
that's the first one.
To be honest, I am not afraid. I'm not afraid to ask hard questions. I will
on the first date.
Give me an example. 100%. I know you're joking about the mom. Like, tell me about your relationship with your mom. Does she bathe you, take your temperature rectally? Tell me about that. Like, what have you come in hot with before?
I think you guys know me well enough to know that I can get people to open up pretty quickly. I think people feel pretty comfortable with me, right?
Incredible conversationalist. We've gotten the chance to hang out with you, Mary Anne, in a group setting. All of us. You're one of the great conversationalists. So much fun to be around. You're a unicorn that way. Go ahead.
So people will open up to me. People will tell me their problems with their moms or their families. Sure. But I will ask and be like, and I almost already know the answer based on like their values and who they are. But I'll be like, so what'd you think of the convoy?
That's a good one. That's a
wow.
Good
You're
one.
hard hitting.
No, I do.
It's hard money coming at you.
I seriously will ask. Yeah.
That's actually really good.
What do you think of the color red?
Do you ever have hot dreams about your grandmother?
And maybe it's me, guys. It might just be me, to be honest. Because the same guy asked him like Roe versus Wade. What do you think? What do you think about my uterus?
Crazy,
Thoughts?
huh? Yeah.
Do you think I own my own uterus?
Thoughts? Well, cool. Let's go down that road a little bit, okay? Because so much has changed in the last 2 years. Not just women's access to their own reproductive rights in the United States, but culturally, we've been really split in two, right? Like, you didn't have to like. If you were on a dating app 2 years ago, prior to the pandemic, prior to the my body, my right, I don't like the vaccine, God's going to save me, my mind is full of porridge, somebody help me because I'm a fucking idiot, like that whole crowd. Like before on dating apps, you could kind of go, okay, that guy's good looking, he seems to be bright, and you didn't really go, tell me about your life ideology. Like, tell me about the values you live by. But now it's literally like a catch-all, right? Like, you can say to someone online, if you're dating, I think you've been mad. You're fucking crazy if you don't at this point, which is probably why you got off, if I'm not mistaken, is like, it's too much to navigate now. Like, it's A, good looking, B, smart, C, good job, good connection. But nobody, and I mean nobody, prior to the pandemic was like, tell me how you feel about vaccination status. Like, nobody asked
Dean,
that question,
right? So like, guys, seriously, there's a like on most dating apps now, you can choose like, so to be like, are you, what's your religious beliefs? What's your this? What's your that? But vaccinated or not vaccinated is actually an option now for you to choose to put in your profile. Like it's now part of it. It's now like a stance that's not a stance. It's just like, are you vaccinated or not?
Yeah, like
it's become a stitch in our social fabric.
You're
like in the bio.
Like dogs, exercise, yoga, and then you can put unvaccinated, or you could put pure blood, or because that's what my buddy was telling me. He's like, he said he came across a couple of ladies. He was on some site, and he's like, and he looked and he swiped on whatever way you swipe, where you're like, hey, let's hook up. Is it left, right? What is it?
Swipe right for good, isn't it?
Right is good. Ryan knows better than I do.
Bad, right is good. Whatever. He swiped good. He swiped good. He's like,
get off my
I'm
phone.
gonna
Actually,
swipe for good here. And they would get back to him, and he would take a closer look at the profile and be like, pure blood. And he's like, I don't know, the fuck, is she a vampire? Like,
they actually have a fucking app, their own app now. They have their own dating app.
The pure blood dating app.
Yeah.
Just for
I don't know if it's an app or just a website, but it's there. Like they've made their own little market of idiots. It's great. Stay there.
Yeah.
Just stay there.
You know what else is very divisive, I find? Scott, maybe you have some married friends who are like this, but polyamory and open relationships comes up a lot. I had no idea until...
More so than prior to the pandemic?
I think so, but I see it all the time. I see it like multiple, like when I was on them, I would see them multiple times in a... It'd be like, I like to fish and I like to hike and, you know, I like this and I like pasta and I'm also in an open relationship. And you're like...
I like fish, pasta, and screwing the neighbor's wife while he watches. You know, like...
Huge fan of cuck videos as well.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
Holy fuck.
I actually, my ex and I, we had a neighbor, we had a polyamorous neighbor who invited me to their...
Come by for pineapple?
Dude, JB, who we have on the show all the time. He's very
I said no,
open.
by the way.
Yeah, good. He talks about this on his show all the time. It's fascinating to listen to it because he's schooled on the subject. And I got the impression that, like, you know, in the last 2 years, I could be wrong, but I think in the last 2 years, people are like, fuck, who cares anymore, right? Who gives a shit? I don't even care. Whoever's out there, somebody, anybody. It's like the world's most open profile all the time. I'm into polyamory. Do you have herpes? I don't care. Are you an amputee? Come on in. Doesn't matter to me at all. Are you a burn victim? What is the situation like with your parents? Do you have a terrible relationship with your father? Come on in. Do you already have a wife or a husband? Are you male or female? It doesn't matter. Because the last 2 years have fried my fucking brain to the point where I have to put words like pure blood on my dating profile, which kind of explains why everybody's fleeing Tinder and Grindr and all these other dating apps like at a rapid rate. Like for the first time in history, I think this month, people on dating apps, the amount of people signing up for dating apps actually didn't go up. It went down. Which I need to get some more details on that. But what you're explaining to me just sounds like a fucking nightmare. Like if someone said to me, hey, Dean, here's an idea. You're going to go on a dating app. You're going to get laid all the time. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'd be like, no, fuck. Because there's so many other things to wade through on that thing. Like, you know, someone's a pure blood or somebody, you're not vaccinated. It's like there's a whole world of people. And I thought about it the other day because I have friends who I used to just love hanging out with. Love. Not even in the dating app. Like people who I used to really enjoy talking to. And I've watched them espouse these wacky, like, weird anti-vax views over the past couple of years. I'm like, as much fun as that guy was, I will never hang out with that person again, right? So add that dynamic to the world of online dating. It's a whole other vertical you got to go through, Scott. One that I'm not ready for, I'll tell you that.
Well, I find it's hard to maintain friendships in this kind of crazy environment that we're in, let alone start new, you know, potentially long-term relationships with people, because to Mary Anne's point, you kind of do have to ask those hard questions right at the beginning, because you don't want to get in and 6 months later you find out, yeah, sorry, I can't go out with you tonight. I'm heading out to the convoy. You know, I'm really busy. So, you know, like imagine if that like comes up down the road. So I think it makes sense to ask those questions right off the bat.
Can I ask you guys?
Please go ahead. Yeah, you go.
I was going to ask you guys, if you all happen to be single and you were on a dating app, what would your first line in your profile be? What would be your selling point on yourself?
Hashtag Bitcoin.
There's a lot of guys. Yeah, that's actually a real one. That's a real
is it
one.
really?
Yeah.
Are you
People do
serious?
it all the
People
time.
put Bitcoin.
I think they're just
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
for each other to talk to.
Yeah, passionate about Bitcoin. Yeah.
People put that in their dating profile.
Yeah,
Do you really?
yeah.
I like long walks on the beach, and I am passionate about Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Yeah.
what would be your selling point for you?
Call me if you're hungry. I'll take care of you. I got you.
I got
I'll
meat.
agree.
I got a lot of meat.
Yeah.
Lots
Got a lot of meat.
Ooh.
Tons of meat.
That is a double entendre if I've ever heard
Right?
of it. Is what that is. Yeah. Yeah.
Fire.
It's
I don't.
Yeah,
See, you can't ask me that question because I
I
never put
did.
anything up there. Well, I don't want to answer that question. I've got no desire to answer that question because I don't. I would never say, "Hey, listen, here's me."
Well, married Ryan and married Scott are sure as hell.
Yeah.
Yo,
I
come
know,
on,
right?
Dean, we made up some shit.
It's okay. By the way, while Gene thinks about this, Rachel Gilmore,
Gene?
who's been in like the top of the news dealing with the
Yeah.
convoy people, actually had some tweets out today. I guess she must be dating, and she said
Who?
things like, "Rachel, you know Rachel Gilmore."
Yeah.
So this is her today. He's a 10, but he's just not into politics, so that won't work for Rachel. And then this is where we all get disqualified as he's a 10, but he has a podcast. Damn, Rachel.
She just put that out today.
Yeah, it was just today. I read it this morning when or this afternoon while I was scrolling things. We got on this, and I thought I want to talk about people with funny tweets. And she's
Is that
been
called
under fire.
vague posting? Yeah, she's
Vague.
been doing great. Well, she's been
Yeah.
on a heater ever since Pierre Poilievre said that she smeared him because Pierre's such a huge pussy. The only people he goes after are female reporters, right? So
Yeah.
she got a ton of attention, and Rachel does a great job. And now she's parlaying this. It seems to be parlaying because I haven't seen her talk about dating or anything like that, or tens or people that have podcasts. But I mean, the road goes both ways. Like if a TV news reporter said to me, "I'm interested in you," I go, "You're a 10, but you're a TV news reporter, so there's no way I'm dating you." Like there's no way. There's no way that that's happening. The road goes both ways. Not that I take offense to it because I have a podcast.
No, I just thought it was funny and very relevant to what we were talking about here for
Cute.
first lines.
Yeah,
I think it's adorable.
I do
That
too.
gave you enough time to think yours, Dean. What's your kick-ass?
Just simple.
opening
I
line?
don't really care if anything works out here. That would be pretty much it. It would just be this non-committal. Listen, I don't really care if any of this stuff works out. I'm pretty happy. I'm doing this as a joke. Hit me up on Twitter.
Here's my link to my podcast. Find me on Spotify.
Follow me
Yeah, that's
here.
the only
Follow me
reason
on
I would
YouTube.
do it is to sell my podcast. Yeah. I don't really
Yeah.
care if it works, but I really do want you to download the podcast. That would be a lot of fun. That would mean a lot to me if you could.
Visit our
That's seriously
sponsors
how
too.
Speaking of people with questionable morals and ethics, Elon Musk.
Oh, boy.
Guy he's not on a dating app. I just had 2 more kids with an employee. We talked about that last week. So doesn't pull out in his personal relationships, pulls out of professional ones because he announced this week, he's like, "I'm out of Twitter. Go fuck yourself, world." To the point where he actually put this up, and I thought this was brilliant. I don't know about you, Scott, but this is pretty funny. This is a tweet that he put up. They said I couldn't buy Twitter, then they wouldn't disclose bot info. Now they want to force me to buy Twitter in court. Now they have to disclose bot info in court. And it's him laughing and laughing and laughing. People at Twitter don't think this is that funny, though, because they were promised $54 a share, and that is not happening anymore. Apparently, there's some kind of deal where he's got to pay $1 billion penalty. What do you know about this guy, other than the fact that he doesn't wear a condom, Scott? What can you tell us?
Oh,
Well, I can tell you Twitter's now $34 a share. So
No.
it's quite down from where he wanted to purchase it. But I think that if his move is to get Twitter to reveal their true bot info, that this is a genius way to do it and a genius reaction. Like, I mean, I've said this before, you got to admit, he is one of the best at Twitter because his trolling game is always on. Whether he's making a joke about, "Hey, surprise, I have 2 kids and I'm doing my best to maintain the population," or, kind of pointing out what's happening here with Twitter. So I don't know how this is going to play out, man. Like, I'm one of the ones who said, no, he's going to buy it. He said he'll buy it. And you got to take this guy at his word. And then, I look like a huge douche because I kind of thought that he was going to buy it. And evidently, he's not.
Well,
So you were right about that, Dean. I'll give you credit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that like I don't know how long ago. Like right when he was. I'm pretty sure I did. Like I had you on the podcast.
We said it in the initial.
He's just doing it for the
announcement.
chicks.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's just doing it for the chicks. Like the whole reason that he said he was going to buy Twitter, because I didn't think he had the money, and then I started talking to different guys like Ben Collins and a few other guys, and I'm like, is this even possible? Like, does he have the funds to be able to do this? Can he leverage this kind of money? And they're like, not really. Like, it's going to affect every other part of his business if he tries to do that, because he's got to take collateral from Tesla and Boring and all the other dumb shit that he's doing, where he's trying to change the world, SpaceX, and they're like, yeah, he might be able to. And then I had a really interesting conversation with an economist who said, listen, this guy is so full of shit. And not only is he full of shit, he's nowhere near as smart as he has everybody thinks he is. And the second that he said he was going to buy Twitter and said he got the financing together was the second he realized how full of shit this guy was. And then he went on and on and on and basically arrived at this. He said, Dino, here's the thing. Is if you take a stance against and you say to everybody, listen, he's not going to buy this. He's not going to buy this because he can't simply afford it. Like he couldn't get out from underneath the debt load, which would have been like $1.5 billion to service it for a year, apparently, Scott, if I'm not mistaken, something like that, is that he couldn't afford it. He just simply couldn't afford to spend $44 billion. But he kept reiterating how interested he was in doing it and buying it. And what I find fascinating is how he shit all over people for saying he wasn't really a serious player for this. Like he really wasn't doing it. He was just doing it for shits and giggles. And now he's gone completely the opposite direction, saying, hey, guess what? They're trying to take me to court to buy it, and I don't want it because they're full of shit. Like, are they full of shit? Is he full of shit? Who's full of shit here in your estimation? And I know you're a big Elon fan, so I don't mean to upset your fruit basket. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You know, I do believe anyone who uses Twitter for more than a day can see that there's a huge issue with bots generally and fake accounts.
No way.
I have to. I don't know what I'm sure you have to block more fake accounts than I do, but I block a fake account about myself and about the guy I work with, Dan Fitzpatrick at Stock Market Mentor. I'm blocking fake accounts for him and myself on a daily basis. Yeah. And Twitter already comes out to say, no. We hammer a lot of these away every day. So the stuff that you're seeing are just the ones coming through the cracks. And so I do believe that, the bot issue is definitely a real problem that they have to address. And if they weren't forthright with Elon or willing to open up the algorithms to see how all this stuff works, I think that would definitely be a negative towards him wanting to buy it at all, because he's like, well, what am I buying here? Am I buying a platform that's growing and thriving, or am I buying a platform that is 45% fake users?
Is that the number? 45% fake users?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
That's what he's saying, and is trying to bolster his thing. And that share price that you were talking about today, you know what else had a big part in that today?
No.
They took a fucking shit kicking in the January 6th hearing today. Twitter was oh yeah, they were brought to the woodshed and up one side and down the other for their lack of involvement in restricting Donald Trump and his rage tweeting on January, like between the election and January 6th. Yeah. So that apparently did affect the market as well as the Elon announcement the other day. So they're not doing so hot. They've got a lot of reflection to do on their bots and their fake news and their platforming absolute bullshit that actually causes deaths and changes world markets. So I like Twitter. Don't get me wrong. I like being on Twitter. I like playing in the Twitter world.
Oh, I fucking hate it.
But no, you don't. But at the same time,
I'm at that point. No, seriously. Like, I'm at that point where it's like, you log out. Like yesterday, I'm like, I guess I should put out some viral stuff. And I checked with our guys. I'm like, can you put out some viral? It's Chris. I'm like, can you put out some viral? They put out these things. He's like, I'm busy. I'm like, fuck. So I was going to send it to you. But like, I didn't. I'm like, and then you put these up. But because like going into it, there's days where I get like 2 or 3 days out of Twitter. I don't know about you guys, social media, Twitter. Mary Anne does a great job. She pops in, pops out. She puts up her Let's Take This Outside podcast, shares some cool stuff, talks, makes a couple funny jokes, but then doesn't check it for like 5 hours, right? But when this is a business and you got a network and you're trying to keep up with everybody's stuff, it is impossible to get away from it. But there have been times where like on the weekend where I got 4 or 5 hours away, maybe half a day away, and I'm like, don't open it. Don't look at it. And it's not because of the hate coming this way. I could give two shits about that. We block vociferously, specifically if you just joined in the last like couple of months, and everything on your Twitter feed is like Donald Trump is Jesus Christ incarnate. We're fucking out. Or if anything is about Pierre Poilievre's support and how Jesus is the reason for the season, we block the fuck out of those people. Like I could give two shits if they interact with any of us or our content or myself. It's just a value proposition that I enjoy. I enjoy blocking religious wackos and people who want to watch it all burn. But it's like, it's so oppressive to me sometimes, where if you get like a couple of months away, or not a couple of months, a few hours away, the idea of going back into it, it's like, you know when you used to work that summer job, right? Like real hard labor summer job, and you got like an hour for lunch and you're sweating, maybe you're doing some landscaping, and you sat down and you started eating your sandwich and you laid back in the sun and you're like, oh my God, this is so nice. I just sit here and eat my sandwich in the sunshine. I don't have to worry about, digging a hole. I don't have to worry about the hard work involved. Like the hard mental work of trying to sift through, decipher who's on your side, who isn't, who's interested in a legitimate conversation, who's just consuming your content, and who are the CPC bots that are bought and paid for by the Plymouth Brethren Church, which, by the way, in the Canada Action Committee, which is actually one of the biggest ones that's come after us in the past like 6 weeks. It has been like a fucking nightmare. And so the funny part was, and I was laughing about it because this is and I want to have this guy's on Chris, can't remember his name. He's the owner of Bot Sentinel. He's out of Chicago, really good guy, smart dude. Yeah, you started following us, had a great interaction with him. But Bot Sentinel's incredible. You can actually pump someone's information in there, and you can say, hey, is this guy a bot or not?
I did all of ours. Remember that day we had the show, and I brought everybody a screenshot of what your score was on Bot Sentinel? It was great.
Yeah, and I was satisfactory.
Yeah, shockingly enough. And
I was satisfactory. But my point is this, is the mental jail that Twitter puts you in, and through the bot services and how it works, it's like if you can get time away from it, kind of like that lunch break that you get in your summer job, going back into it is oppressive. It's like, okay, I got to put my lunchbox down, take a deep breath, and I got to jump back into my landscaping job because it's how I make money, right? And it's the same thing for people like us, which is why I don't understand, like, someone who doesn't have to be on it, why the fuck they're even there?
What we did, like I look at us on Sunday. We had a perfectly fucking beautiful afternoon.
Yeah,
like,
barbecue,
good friends,
backyard, ribs,
barbecue. Yeah, we had a good time, drinks, chats, and then you notice that any time we split off from each other, if you look at our timelines, one of us was tweeting, you or me, about something about the show, or retweeting something, and it was like. You're right, we get caught in that hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And the only solace I take, and I find when you get into that little rut, and then of course that's usually when the assholes, the church people show up. My favorite on Sundays, by the way, they leave church after becoming holy and so frustrated they have to run to Twitter and start yelling at everybody. Is to remind them that the interaction that they give us on Twitter and on social media actually increases our sales deck numbers for us to sell what we do. So I thank them for the clicks. Thank you for yelling at us, because the people that do those analytics don't read what is being said. They just look at the numbers, and their numbers are just as good as fans' numbers. So thank you.
One of these guys that I love to follow, Big Black Crypto, he's got a YouTube channel. He's actually really bright. He deals with NFTs. I got to get this guy on the show because he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's
funny.
A great follow.
Yeah, he's an awesome follow. He's like, oh my God, absolutely. CPP bots are called when mouse. Sometimes they're contracted out. It's literally Russian keyboard soldiers shit the bed with their jerking off to Tinder and TikTok. That's what they're doing. Like, and here's the other thing. Have you guys heard of Upwork? Anybody heard of Upwork here?
I do work on Upwork, actually.
Oh, do you really?
Maybe not exactly what you're going to talk about.
I don't think it's the same one.
It's not this.
No, it is. It is. It's the same.
Oh, really?
No,
That's the one that Bonzi does stuff for, too.
That's right.
Yeah, it's freelance. Yeah.
It's the Uber of like gig economy freelance work for people to do creative stuff, right? Yeah. So on Upwork, you can literally go on there. You can sign up to be an influencer, and you get these offers. And some of these offers, and we're collecting a bunch of stuff to do a post about it. A lot of the offers that come in for Canadian bots come in from a group that is super tied into the Conservative Party, right? So what they do is they'll put out this thing. It's like, we need you to repeat this one message. We'll give you $5 per tweet. Send this out like a numerous times, and send it out at this time, and attack this person. Attack this idea. Go after that guy. And the reason why I found out about it is, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago where where PP was marching with the white supremacists. He's like, oh, here I am walking down the street because I'm a fucking idiot, and I'm a white supremacist, and I'm totally in the fucking cult. And by the way, if I could, I'd mail order my life because I'm that much of a douchehole. So there he is walking down the street. And so we put out this thing. I'm like, oh, he's the fucking leader of the Wiener Brigade. There he is, the white supremacist leader brigade, right there. He's the leader of it, and there he is walking around. And the tweet got 10,000 likes, 7,000 retweets. It was huge. It was like just this one quick thing that I did because I thought, fuck this guy. As soon as I saw him walking with everybody, right? So over the next 4 days, we had, and I can tell you this, if you look at your impressions on Twitter, you can look at your analytics. We have 40 million impressions because they paid for that many people to come after me $5 at a time. And it cost church groups money. It cost the Conservative Party money. It cost some of their affiliates money. And what they did is they went to Upwork and they're like, here's $5 for you. Here's $5 for you. Go get Dean. Go get Dean and that whole fucking network. So when you see that piling on, whether it's David Fisman or whether it's Scott, because he's like, I love Elon Musk.
Is that what you do, Scott? Is that how
he does. I love Elon Musk.
A 15-minute video of him doing it. It's great.
Weird thing with my hands, always.
Yeah, it's what he does. Yeah, he does. But that's literally
full fist.
How that works, and what Ryan has just pointed out. No, this is how they make it over fist over there. But what Ryan's pointing out is fascinating to me because what he's suggesting is 100% factual. It is all on. It is all the time, and the reason why they do it is so they can kind of continue to control this weird narrative that they're trying to usher through, so that they can be successful in whatever ventures they are. It's fucking hilarious, and that's why I block people. And then they go, they'll send, I can't believe Dean blocked me, or they'll from another account. This is fucking unbelievable too. You can block their accounts. They'll get on another account, make fun of you for blocking them, and then block you back just to make you feel like you're an asshole or something. It's the most weird shit I've ever seen in my life.
Why don't you use 5% of the money that you make selling these T-shirts to hire the people from Upwork to just put out positive messages about Dean Blundell? Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Create our own positive bot army.
Oh my God, you imagine?
Yes, that's smart.
Dean Blundell is a golf legend. Just weird positive things. Dean Blundell is the best dancer on TikTok.
The most black T-shirts in Canada.
Dean Blundell really fills out a pair of shorts.
Shorts. Dean Blundell doesn't own shorts.
Full set of hair. Dean Blundell.
Yeah.
No one plays the steel drum like Dean Blundell. Just these weird things.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely something there.
There's
Create
a
a positive bot army. See, here's the thing: is that if you go, I'm creating a bot army,
money in
everybody's
that.
going to go look at it. Yeah, no one wants it. I wonder. We can ask people in the comment section if we created a bot army, a positive bot army. Would you join it? Yes or no?
I'll put a poll up.
Michelle, right here. She's like, oh my God, we're onto something. There you go.
I like
Oh yeah.
Michelle.
I
Decker.
like
Michelle.
She's like, in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And let's go after people.
Yeah, just
I would love
weird
that.
positive messages about how you're making an impact in the world of, clogging or something.
Yeah, something really, really obscure.
Nothing to do with what you do on the podcast. It has nothing to do.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has to be super random and disconnected.
I mean, if it's only $5,
Yeah.
kind of worth it.
Can we get it for free? That's how I think. Can we
That's
build an
kind of it.
army of these people for free? So that's the ticket. Can you get?
You
these
see, now
people
you've
to
got
sign
me
up?
thinking.
Because- right? I think Scotty's onto something.
No,
And then
you've got-
we're like, hey, everybody, here's our new target. We're going to go after this person and flood them with annoying love, like Jamie Saleh. She's always putting out these tweets about how love everybody. Don't get the vaccine. Jesus is the reason for the season. All this bullshit. But we could attack her with nothing but positive messaging. We could have a daily bot army where we're like, hey, everybody, today we're going to go after Theo Fleury. We're going to reduce him to tears through positivity.
Danielle brings up a good point. We don't
What's
have to
up?
pay for it because our friends already do this for us.
Yeah, they do, don't they? That's the great part about having
we
people
really
around
do
it.
have a really good viewer
I
base
know.
here.
I know. Kathleen's in. She's like,
Thanks, Kathleen.
I'm in. So she said. Kathleen, she's like, I'm in. You in?
What would
Danielle's
you
in. Go ahead.
what would it be called? What would would there be a name the bot army? Would it be the positive bot army? Or what has to be catchier than that, I think.
Can I tell you something? Just right out of the hop, I don't want to limit it just to being positive.
No. No, you see, this will turn negative within 48 hours, Mary Anne. You don't understand how these chats work.
I'm gonna be honest.
I gotta tell you something.
That
does not jive
not
with
just
my
positive
personality. There's no way.
No, it
If
doesn't.
we created this bot army and everybody's like, such a positive bot army, it would be a matter of days before I'm like, okay, everyone, tell Theo Fleury to go fuck himself. There's the end of the bot army.
Right? Remind Mark Slapinski he has nothing.
Yeah.
Continuously.
Yeah. Remind that guy he's no longer allowed to have a legitimate bank account. Because of his. Yeah.
I think you should really focus on that one thing. Like you had that really eye close together thing, and so I think you really got to focus on that, especially with Theo, and just like hammer that one message of like Theo's eyes are too close together, and then you have the positive of people going, "Don't listen to him, Theo. Your eyes are perfect," or something like that. But we really make him think about his.
Come up with a conspiracy theory on why his eyes do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that would be the positive people. We know it's okay, Theo. It's your excuse that you.
Don't worry, everyone's head is weirdly shaped.
Hydroxychloroquine as a child.
No, it isn't. That's the thing. The reason why I put that picture up of Theo Fleury and Jamie Salé side by side with their eyes incredibly close together is that I read an article. Well, to be fair, I went looking for it.
Here, I was just gonna say,
be something here. It's like,
okay, if you're Googling. Do incels tend to have their eyes close together? You're gonna find it's kind of like when you're typing in, you're like, I have indigestion and I have a headache, and then of course it's cancer. That's what happened when you decided.
Does this heartburn mean I have cancer?
Right, exactly. So for you to be like this eyes close together thing, and so like there's gotta be a connection here. That's you.
That's a great point, because that's exactly what I did. I'm like, I typed in the Google search bar. I'm like, do super dumb fucks have eyes that sit really close together? That was my Google search. And it was like, pretty much. That's what
they call that confirmation bias.
That's what the Google search bar said. And I'm not even kidding you. And I'd like to say that I'm joking, but I'm not. But this is again the thing. Like, I'm gonna put this in the tweet in the comment section of the website. But this is the tweet. I just went looking for it.
I still think that Theo looks like he has facial paralysis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that right side's not doing so hot.
Guys.
Well, no, you know what? It's weird because
Mary Anne,
the right
I had
eye,
facial paralysis.
That's right. Yeah, he did.
So you're allowed. So you're allowed to say it.
I'm allowed.
Yeah.
To
he had Ramsey Hunt.
Yeah, like I can make fun of anybody that has ever been fired for suggesting anything on the radio that shouldn't have been suggested, because I've earned that right. So,
I noticed how you fucking put the brakes on there.
Yeah. I was trying to figure it out.
Be careful. I was going to throw out a stop sign for you.
Yeah. Whoa, Dino. Whoa. Not used to people. But anyway, can we get to this picture? Because I think it's great.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. This, to my point, is that I did some reading, and it is almost true that people with eyes that are super close together are extra dumb. That's what I read.
Oh.
And if you have a look at Jamie Salé, who, by the way, is like a full-on neo weirdo who's literally traded her family for this perspective of like Trump 2024, and we're not going to get vaccinated because that means we'll have microchips in our wieners. So that's her. And then Theo's the same thing. And I'm like, why? Their eyes are incredibly close together. And sure enough, I read a study that suggested that, that's just because they're stupid. So, I mean, makes sense to me.
What's the proper distance, Dean? Just so I can check later.
You're
Hold
good.
on.
Okay.
She's going to go find out for
Get a
us.
tape measure. Mary Ann's going to get a tape measure. What's the proper distance?
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Some days I feel
do you remember that? Do you remember that Ugly Meter app? They say there's like a symmetry to a face, right? And the Ugly Meter app was apparently, it used to measure the distance between your eyes and like the bridge of your nose.
Is it from here to here?
No, it's pupil to pupil.
Yeah, pupil.
Yeah, you're good. You're like.
Am I good? Am I in?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Don't-
symmetrical.
You're all
Don't
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah,
at
we've
that.
all got.
Yeah, if you go like this, look me in the eye, and your fingers are close together, that means you're an idiot.
Yeah, if you're doing this,
But if
look
you go
me
like
in the
this,
eyes.
look me in these eyes that are incredibly
I'm
close
the
together.
captain now. I am the captain now.
That's right.
I'm the captain now. Yeah, but yeah, that's a fact. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's science. So
I don't
there you
think
go.
that's
You're
true
welcome.
at
You
all.
can't refute it. Yeah, no, sorry, Mary
Google
Anne.
it.
You know what? I
Google
want
it.
to hire. I want to hire
Do
a
your
bot
own
army
research.
Yeah.
to attack Dean on The Notebook.
Well, hang on. Let's see if this works. What, The Notebook? Because I said the other day, I'm like, a
movie?
streak of never watching that movie ever is still alive. The
Same.
Notebook. I'd never watch it.
I've never seen it.
I'd rather spend like an hour with Theo Fleury in a dark room than watch that.
Why is there such
His
this
night vision goggles are
macho?
really
Why is there
tight.
this macho thing against The Notebook? I don't understand. It's,
It's
like
not
an
a
hour and
macho
half.
thing.
What is it?
There's too much crying. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
crying, way
But
too
you
much
don't-
love,
you don't
kissing, all that
know.
stuff. Yes, I
You
do.
haven't
I've seen
seen-
bits of it. No. I've walked in the room when it's been on. I've never stayed in the room it's been on because, like, this is a true story. So my ex was a big fan of that movie, and this other one, Christmas movie. What's it called? Love Actually. I think Liam Neeson. It's like a big lovey Christmas movie and stuff like that. I can't do those movies. I cannot do those movies, and I cannot do like frightening movies. I can't do horror movies. I find them to be a waste of time. It's like I didn't learn anything. That kind of love doesn't exist, and
You didn't
neither
laugh.
does neither does Mike Myers. So like, what's the fucking point, right? There's no point in watching it. It's like all based in fantasy. Like my understanding of The Notebook is that Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams, very young, they did it before the war, and then they meet when they're like 90, and they both die at the same time. Is that correct? Is that
Someone's got dementia, I think. Does somebody have dementia? One of them.
Yeah, they don't remember each other. Which, by the way, fucking sad. Like, who subjects themselves
that.
to the
That's
story
great.
of these
Are you
two
kidding?
people that did it when they were 19, spent
And then they get
80
to do what
years
they-
apart, got dementia, met each other for 5 minutes before the one guy went completely nuts, and is like, there's nothing
Yeah,
redeeming
but then you
about
get to
that
do
story.
it with
I'm not
another
watching the
complete
fucking Notebook.
stranger.
Still a better love story than asking for $40 the day after a date. So
True.
Charge enough about that.
Yeah, that's true. We should write we should call that the scrapbook. We'll write your story. We'll put it. Oh, Mary Anne's scraps book.
Oh, that makes me so. That is the story of my love story. Is just a
Yeah.
bunch of
Yeah.
sad notes in a book.
Yeah,
Really?
and each page is a different guy who was super unimpressive on Tinder. Like the
I'd
guy-
watch that before I
guy
watched
with
The
the
Notebook.
comb over that was dressed like a bus driver. That's a whole chapter.
And the jorts as well.
Yeah, the guy.
You guys just
and,
made the jorts up. That didn't even exist.
I totally just made that.
You just made that up. You made it up.
I make a lot.
Made
of
the whole
stuff
thing.
up.
You made the whole thing up today.
You're
We're
I think-
billing
I
your
think
next
that-
date to have jorts.
Yeah,
If we had
what
the
we're doing.
bullshit meter today, I think like 80% of what you guys said today was
bullshit. Probably.
Still
Okay, I'm
beating
gonna do
Fox
something.
News. Thank you.
I'm going to do something. I'm going to encourage everybody to go to my Twitter feed right now. It's Dean Blundell. We're just going to do a live Twitter bot army thing. See how it works.
Okay.
Not a positive Twitter bot, by the way, because again, that is unsustainable. Totally.
Do you want us
We're
to do
starting
this?
not you. You don't have to do it. Scotty's
Oh.
looking at me like
A little busy over here.
I know.
Mary
Are you
Anne.
trading still? Are you still trading? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm listening to you guys.
All right. Hang on a second. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tweet this out. This is going to be and I'm just going to tweet it at It's Dean Blundell. So go there today.
Okay.
And I'm just going to tweet it with the title Bot Army Go. These are just for people in the podcast. Bot Army Go. I want you to direct this right at Theo and right at Jamie. And we'll
Just
see how
10.
angry, because Theo gets really angry with me. Like, he gets angry.
I wonder why.
He will be angry
F-
for a long time. Bot Army Go. And so what do? Do you tag someone and say, send us to at Jamie Sally? Is that correct?
Or take a screenshot of you saying it, because I think he has you blocked, if I'm not mistaken. So
Oh,
they
it's
would
just
need to
other people will
screenshot
get it
it
to him.
and just tweet it at him.
Other people will get it to him. Doesn't need to be me.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Twitter.
You doing
handle.
it now?
Yeah, right this second. I want to see if it works. There's no better time than now to beta test. Scott taught me that
Okay.
when we were kids.
Back in the 50s.
Back when you do.
Yeah.
What is it? Theo Fleury? 14? Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. Let me just look it up.
Anyone? Scott,
Theo.
you follow this guy on Twitter, right? Or has he blocked you too?
Doesn't he buy
Probably
crypto
I'm the
from you
only
or
person
something?
he hasn't blocked.
Do you have his Twitter handle there, Mary Anne?
Yeah, Theo Fleury 14.
Yeah, you know what? I'm blocked now too. Never mind.
Oh, I have him muted. That's not the same.
How do you spell Fleury? F-E, F-L-E, or
F-L-E-U.
Yeah.
Yeah, L-E-U-R.
Okay. So it's going up at Esteem Blundell. If you're listening to this podcast, you can see. If you're watching it live, you can go to my Twitter feed. It's the tweet that you're the tweet that you're sending at Theo and Jamie is titled, quote, "The Eyes Close Together Crew."
Am I a part of this because I'm on this podcast?
You are now.
Am I associated to this now?
100%.
Yeah, this is your legacy.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
There we
Digital
go.
legacy.
That's Mary Anne.
Thank you.
M.A. on air. Host of
And the tweet says
Bed.
Bot Army Go, but the title is The Eyes Close Together Crew. And
Okay, can you say that again? Okay, sorry. What do people need to tweet? You weren't being super
just
clear.
tweet it right at them with a comment
Okay.
about their eyes being close together, which is a serious concern when it comes to being.
I don't see it.
It
Yeah,
takes a
you're-
minute because I got Twitter Blue. So what it does is it's like, are you sure you want to send
Oh,
this? You stupid idiot. Which I get a lot. Like I get that one. It's like, hey, people on Twitter don't like it when you call them fucking assholes. And I'm like, I beg to differ.
I believe they're looking
And then we're
for
like,
that.
are you sure? You guys get that a lot? Are you sure you
yeah.
want to send this tweet? And I'm like,
I've never got that before.
you
Really?
never have?
It's because you're a
You've
nice
never gotten
person,
the warning?
Mary Anne.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what being a nice person is like.
Yeah, I get it. Like every second tweet, it's like, Twitter doesn't like this. Are you
Well,
certain you want to send this tweet?
I love how they actually worded it. It's like most people on Twitter don't talk like this.
Yeah, try to guilt you into it, or try to like,
Yeah,
like
right.
listen. If my reputation actually mattered to me, I wouldn't even be on Twitter. So it's like, never
Well,
mind
I don't
you
know.
trying to
I don't
tell
know
me
about you,
your
Mary Anne, but I get most of
reputation could take a
my
hit.
I get most of my like listens and views on my podcast. Let's take Bitcoin outside from Twitter. That's my spin-off, by the way. It's where I go hiking and talk about the blockchain.
You're gonna be like
Coming
me.
soon.
I
Dude,
was
that's
making
like,
one this.
that's such a great strategy. We should start doing that. Where I'm gonna like co-op the Dean Blundell Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah.
It's just you talking about his show.
Yeah, the whole time. The Dean Blundell's Joe Rogan experience. That's what I'm gonna do.
You should
Yeah.
do one about Theo and Jamie. We just talk
great.
about their life.
The
just
Close
did a
Eye
whole
Brigade.
podcast.
How about that?
The
Close Eye Brigade.
podcast.
We got our eyes on you.
Yeah.
Dot
The
net.
Eyes on You podcast. You've already got 3 retweets and 11 likes, by the way.
Seriously.
Yeah, 54 seconds out, and it's 3 retweets and 11 likes.
Bot Army Go. Yeah.
Well done.
Oh, dude, Wade's on it. DeCosta's on it. All the people in our comment section are on it. Danielle, Ashley. If you could just like hammer them with that today, that'd be great. And just say something nice about me. Like just anything. It doesn't even matter. It can be totally made up. Like Dean has a cool telescope. Like that.
Excuse me? What?
Just something. It's just a test. I'm just beta testing to see if we can create our own bot army. I think it's a
Yeah.
fucking great idea. I really do.
I do
Bot
too.
Army Go. There you go. You go to 54 seconds. We got 11 likes, 3. Yeah, no big deal. We'll have this thing up to 1 million in like 5 minutes. Like we're gonna do it. This is what it's like to be a real influencer. By the way, you guys. I just want to let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Dean Blundell Masterclass.
Not bad.
I'd rather just tweet about mountains and stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Mary Anne, you have been terrific today. Thank you so much for coming back. Really appreciate it. And folks, follow this young lady. She is so smart. Such a great follow on Twitter. Like, and I mean it. She's very, very, very funny. At MA on the air is where you can follow her on Twitter. She is the host of our podcast, which is her podcast, and we're honored to have it. She's tremendous. It's called Let's Take This Outside podcast. It's one of the most highly rated wilderness and outdoor podcasts on the Apple charts, too, if I'm not mistaken, or on the podcast charts. I don't want to say which chart because there are about 40 charts, but the ones that matter, like Chartable, etc., it's brilliant. And it's everything from like foraging for mushrooms to, I think you've got someone coming up on your show that like actually prescribes nature to people that are dealing.
Yeah,
with
she's a
certain
doctor in
ailments.
Vancouver. Yeah, she's a family physician. And actually, my most recent episode was with a man named Ray Zahab, and Ray is like run across the Sahara. He's a very, very cool adventurer. So I think you should go listen. Thank you for having me.
It's incredible. It's so awesome to have you. You're so good on these shows. Thank you so much for taking time with us today. Really appreciate it. Ryan, you were going to say something?
I just want to know when I'm going to be on the. I get winded when I walk to the mailbox. When do I get to go on this podcast?
I mean, never. No offense. It's not called Let's Stay Inside.
We fought about the outdoors like the first time I was on this. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, Scott, love to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Long time pal. Ryan,
Yeah,
Dean,
don't call
thanks so
me.
much,
Great to
guys.
see you.
Don't call what? What were you going to say?
Call me, please.
I'm gonna
very
go.
busy.
Yeah, I'm super busy. Don't
They
talk.
block each other on Twitter already. It's hilarious.
I already blocked you.
One time, Mary Anne tried to call me, or we messing around on the phone, and my headphone wasn't working, and I'm like, this isn't working, bleep, and I hang up, and then she's like, what'd you hang up on me for? Something like that. I just called her back. Oh yeah, sorry, I do that. I just hang up on people.
I do that.
Scott's got a podcast too called the Hot Wallet Podcast, and you can subscribe to it.
Scott's got a podcast too, everyone.
I'm not on any
Scott's
charts though. I'm looking at charts right now. I'm not on any charts.
Is there? I don't even know if there's like a financial
There's gotta
category for podcasting. There has to be. Yeah.
My Scaramucci interview is like my biggest one ever.
Anthony
Cool.
Scaramucci, yeah. It was such a fucking great interview. We played clips of it. But if you go to @ScottTrades on Twitter and anywhere you get your podcasts, you've got the audio version of your podcast, Hot Wallet, which is about crypto, but it's more about financial advice, financial literacy, talking about finances, right? How would you describe it? Because you're kind of, it's not like you're all over the map. You're super focused, but you're focused on certain financial parts of this industry that not a lot of people are. So how would you describe that?
Yeah, just active investing is kind of how I describe it. So you're learning about the markets, how the markets work, and then you're also learning about different things that you can invest in, and then hearing from people who run tons of money. Like the first podcast I did was with a guy named Mark Yusko. He runs a $2 billion fund. And so, hey, if I have a $100,000, retirement account, you're learning from someone who runs, large amounts of money. And same thing here with Scaramucci. In the interview, the guy talks about having, coming from nothing essentially, and then coming up in the world of investing. And now he's got a Lambo, he's got a Rolls Royce, he owned the Batmobile, and stuff like that. So, it's just active investing, people who want to learn about the market, learn about digital assets, and learn about traditional assets too.
Yeah. Dude, it's a great podcast too. And the great part about Scott is a lot like Mary Anne is they're both media trained, right? Like they're both former really excellent market people that came from radio, that understand the business, understand how to communicate. So their podcasts are far and above where they should be for people that just started podcasts in this last, I would say 6 year to 6 months, 6 years to a month. That's
Thanks,
a weird
man.
measurement.
I appreciate that.
Check out Dean's
Thank
Math
you.
podcast.
Yeah, it's coming soon. It's called
That's
the
what
Dean
I'm going to
Blundell
tweet
Joe
to
Rogan Math
Jamie
Experience.
Saleh. Dean Blundell is amazing at math. Coming out now.
Yeah, you should. But of course, Ryan's got a podcast as well. It's called the Sheeple Shepherd Podcast. Please go and download and subscribe it. You can go and get it at Ryan Lindley on Twitter. Dealing with crazies and debunking stuff and talking about the better parts of life and how to be a better human and how to understand the world around you when it comes to mental health, medicine, and being a good human being. So really appreciate you, Ryan, as always. Thanks so much for being here, brother.
Love you, man. This is always a good time.
I love all of you. Okay, I don't just love you. I know you like to single me out here, but I love everybody. I love Scott. I love Mary Anne. I love you. I got nothing but love. I don't even know how to do that. Is that it? Is that how you do the?
That's
Looks
a
like a
fat
vagina.
It's a big fat heart. Oh,
That's
No,
actually
it doesn't.
Yeah, like a
I
weird vagina.
uterus you. I uterus you.
So,
Ryan's married. He hasn't seen one in years. So don't blame him.
Yeah. Anyway, appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much. And we'll chat. Yeah.
oh,
That's good. Yeah. There you go. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Scotty.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Marianne. Appreciate you all.
Bye, guys.
Take care. See you later. Everybody's going. I'm all alone. I'm all alone in this crazy world now. I'm all alone in this crazy world by myself. That was more fun. It was funny because last week Scotty was on, and I'm like, we got the show going. I lost my mind to start the show with Scott after the podcast. He's like, maybe you have a podcast where you like talk about fun stuff. So that's what that was. Works. It's the best. Thanks to everybody for being here. Don't forget, everybody, and if you want to follow them, you can see them in our comment section. And especially in the description, you can follow Hot Wallet. You can follow Mary Anne's Take This Outside, and of course, the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. And if you have a podcast that you would like help with, or if you need help monetizing it, or if you can't get your podcast off the ground, info@deanblundell.com. We are now in business. More on that in the coming days. But info@deanblundell.com, and someone from deanblundell.com and the podcast network will get back to you. We actually do a pretty good job of it. We understand it. We love working with people that want to be creative. That's kind of the whole point. And if you're creative and you're a good human being and you've got a show or a brand or you need help getting bigger, you want to get noticed, you want to make some money, please give us a call by emailing us or get in touch with us by emailing us info@deanblundell.com. Thanks all. Thanks to our friends at kivlaw.ca for making this possible as well. My friend Robert is a criminal defense lawyer, but he deals in all kinds of the legal education process. It doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter what you got. Kivlaw.ca, team of lawyers that'll help you not give up your freedom, that'll help you fight, learn the education system, learn how to get through any legal problem that you have. If you got popped for something, or you're fighting with somebody, or there's an issue and you need to have someone hold your hand through the process, take control of your life for you so that you don't lose out. Kivlaw.ca. Again, Robert at kivlaw.ca. Go to kivlaw.ca, check them out, go through their website, and then get in touch with them as soon as you possibly can, because I'll tell you something, there's nothing worse than being behind the eight ball legally where you get bullied by the legal system. And Rob's one of those dudes who's like, I don't like that happening to my clients. I don't like that happening in general, which is why he exists. And you won't find a better advocate for the freedom of speech and, of course, your personal rights and your human rights and your legal rights. Rob's the best. That's why we trust him. Kivlaw.ca today if you've got any issues that you need dealt with. Also, want to thank our friends over at Ed's Fine Imports for making this possible as well. If you're looking for a pair of Gitch, Ed's got some underwear for you. Go to GITCH3. That is your promo code, GITCH3, and edsfineimports.com. Pump that promo code in. He's going to give you 15% off a pair of underwear and send you a free pair for free. He's also got 15% off store-wide when you give him your email address. He will not spam or send you anything you don't want. Clothing for men and boys, but his underwear are the best. And he's got tips when you sign up. He's got dressing tips. I need the dressing tips. You need how do you get dressed? What do you wear with these wingtip shoes? How am I going to get these pants on? What's the deal with this? How do I do that? Make sure that you give him a call today. edsfineimports.com. Sign up for his email, and then you can go shopping online, and he'll send you a free pair of underwear. Gitch3, edsfineimports.com. And, of course, Easy Auto Financial for making this possible as well. If you're looking for financing for a vehicle, Easy Auto Financial has you covered. They help you get financing. Do not charge you for it. Everyone else does. Not him. Not them. They make sure other people pay for it, and they make sure they get it done as well. If you got bad credit, good credit, no credit, they do not care. It's all turnkey, and they fill out all the forms. Forms suck. They know that. So does the legwork in buying a car. So from free financing to making sure that you get the car that you want from the person that you want to buy it from or the dealership that you need to get it from, these guys do everything. Go to easyautofinancial.ca, sign up, ask questions, no obligation as well. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you in the next couple of days. I think we're back tomorrow. Ooh, tomorrow's going to be a beauty. Totally forgot about this. Fred Brennan, who started 4chan, he's going to be joining us. Fred Brennan. That Fred Brennan. Dude is a rip. Walked away from 4chan and 8chan when it got taken over by Q and all the weirdos, including the Watkins family. So he's going to dish with us. And Spencer Rice from Kenny versus Spenny, he's going to join us as well. That'll be tomorrow around 4 o'clock. So mark that in your calendar. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Dean at, it's Dean Blundell Show on YouTube. If you could hit subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. You can watch that as well. You can also, if I'm not mistaken, get us on Twitch, Dean Blundell TV on Twitch. Please do so. That would be great. Sign up for wherever you get your fine podcasts, wherever the podcast network is, you will find us. Dean Blundell Show, anywhere you get your podcasts. Have a great day, everybody. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks for spending time with us, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.